Homework 2-2. Mean, median, mode comparisons. All right, so you have 23 ages listed here. Thankfully, they're in order. And we have to answer some questions about that data down here. So go down here, we're reading through these. For these data, which measures of central tendency take more than one value. So just so you know, central measures of central tendency, those are mean, mode, and median. There's another one called mid-range that we don't really talk about, but those kind of talk about the center of your data. So in this case, for these data, it says which of these, the mean, the median, or the mode, which of those can take on more than one value? All right, well, if you think about this, to find the mean, that's just where you add all the numbers up and divide by however many, in this case 23, and you'll get an answer. You'll get one answer. There's only one mean to a set of data. The median is the middle number. It's the middle number. It's not several middle numbers. It's just one middle number. So there's only one of those. Now mode, you could have more than one mode. You don't have to have more than one mode, but you could. So we have to look at, this is the only one it could be, but sometimes it won't be the mode because the data up here won't have something that's occurred more than once. But if we look through here, if I look through these numbers just to see, do I have one that occurs more? There's 51 that occurs twice, so that could be the mode right now. Oh, bimodal. Trimodal. Yeah, so I have, there's another one. So I have some numbers that occur more than once. So these would be my modes. So here we go. I have, it looks like 4 modes there. So mode is my answer here. It occurs more than once. I have more than one mode. Next question. Suppose that the measure 77, where's 77? This little number right here, that's the biggest number, 77, were replaced by 87. Which measures of central tendency would be affected? Okay, so instead of 77, we're going to make it 87. Well, think about that. Does that affect the median? Does that affect the middle number? You take that the biggest number out and you replace it with another big number. Does that affect the number in the middle? Not since you're replacing it. It does not affect the median. So the median will stay the same. Does that affect the mode? 77, the number we took out, 77, was not one of our modes anyway, so it didn't impact the mode at all. So we can get rid of that one, we can get rid of median, but it's definitely going to impact the mean because I'm adding all of these numbers up, getting a number and then dividing by 23. Well, that number's up top here is going to be different since I got an 87 instead of a 77. So it'll definitely impact the mean. And then let's go to the last one. Suppose that starting with the original data, the smallest measurement were removed. All right, so we're taking a number out. Which of these measures of central tendency would be changed? Okay, so let's think about that a second. Let's get rid of some of this. Sorry, y'all. Work with me here. All right, so they're saying take the smallest measurement out. So we're gonna come in here and we're taking 35 out of it. All right, so that number's not there anymore. Did that impact our mode any? See, our modes these were modes and these were modes, and those were my modes right there, the ones that occurred more than once. So those were not impacted any. But definitely the mean is going to be impacted because now when I add up these numbers, I won't have as well. I'll say that the mean would be impacted. I still need to do that math though, because I could still get that same number because I'm dividing, instead of dividing by 23, I'm dividing by 22 now. So yeah, I would think that the mean is going to be different, and I would also think that the median is going to be different. But again, it doesn't have to be. So I would need to check that out. I need to go to that middle number to see for sure. Let's look at that. Let me explain that one a little bit, just so you can get a sense of why that is. So if I go to these, I go back to my numbers here, and if I'm finding the median, then I'm going to, if there are 23 of these, so the middle number, right in the middle of 23, I have 11 on this side, 11 on that side. The 12th number would be the middle number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 63. Okay? 63 is the median. All right, so that's now. So 63 is the median before I take a number out. So now we take this number out right here, and that cuts it down from 23. Now we only have 22 numbers, so I have to go to the 11th and the 12th number and find the number between the 11th and the 12th. So let's do that. So now I go to, so there's 22, I go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So here's 11, and here's 12, and I find the number between them, okay? That is, those aren't, so that'd be 63 and a half. So they are gonna be different, okay? So in this case, my mean and my median would be different. But I just want you to pay attention, because sometimes it's not always going to be that case. Look, what if I'd come down and this number had been my 11th and this one had been my 12th, and then when I get the average of these two, I still end up with 63. Okay, so you had that. Every once in a while they'll throw you that curveball. So if you don't check this every time, I'm telling you, it's going to be that situation where you should have checked, because they throw you that curveball. That'll happen sometimes, so be ready for it. Okay, let's see. Man, I spent a lot of time on that one. Let's go to the next one. Maybe there isn't a next one. Oh, here we go. All right, so these you may need to spend some time practicing. But which is the best measure to describe the data? The mean, the median, or the mode? So let's think about this. The readers of a children's magazine are asked to name their favorite animals. Which measure indicates the animals chosen the most often? Well, that's going to be the mode, because it's the only thing it could be. You can't find the mean of animals, or so the mode is most often. So anytime you see this most often, you know that's going to be mode. Now, this next one's a little tougher, though. It says, in a survey, 9 people reported how many soft drinks they drank in the last month. Here are their responses. Which measure should be used to summarize the data? So you could, so I'm looking at these data. Just look at them a second, and what do you notice? Is there a number that stands out to you? It's a little different than the other ones. One of these things doesn't belong. What I would hope you would see is that this 87 is kind of out of whack a little bit. Okay, that 87 right there is way bigger than all of these other numbers. All these other numbers are kind of close together, but this 87 would end up skewing our data to the right. Okay, so if I were to add all these up, this 87 right here pulls our average higher than it should be. Okay, so it would pull the mean the mean would be elevated in this situation. It doesn't have a mode. So the middle number here, the median, should give us a good sense of the central number for this data here. Okay, so the median is actually going to be a better measure of central tendency here than the mean or the mode would be. Because, just to review right there, because of that 87 is kind of out of whack with all the rest of these numbers. All right, let's look at this last one. Here you got 9 people. They give the following ratings for a local politician on a scale of 0 to 100. So if I'm looking at these numbers, all of them, there's not one that's an outlier, is what we'd call a number like 87 was up here. These numbers all look to be about in the same neighborhood. So I could really go with mean or median here, but the mean would probably be the better because it takes in all the numbers into consideration, not just the middle one. So I think for this question, I would say mean is the best answer to describe the data because it takes all the data and gives me a good measure of the central number. Okay, so things to review. Most often, think about mode. When you're looking at data, see if there's an outlier. Okay, outlier, like this 87 was here. It was just, it was different than all these other numbers. Not that different, but it was just kind of out of the neighborhood. And if you have an outlier, then you probably want to go with your median instead of your mean. And if you don't have an outlier, like here, we don't have an outlier in this last case, then you'd want to go with your mean. All right, what do we got next? All right, I think this might be the last one. So you got to read here. It says here, after the premiere of the new comedy Bumblebee, moviegoers were asked in a quick poll whether they liked the movie. Out of 100 adults, 66, so 66 out of 100 adults liked it, and whereas 11 out of 20 teenagers liked it. These are percentages liked. So if I do a little math real quick, this is 66% and this is 55%. So it looked like this is a higher number. The adults liked it better than the teens based on this because they have a higher percentage liking it. So if I go and read through my answer here, at the movie premiere, blank moviegoers liked the movie less. So the teens, so I would put teenagers, liked the movie less because what percent disliked the movie? Well, if 55 liked it, that means, excuse me, that means 45% disliked it. Okay, so I'd say 45% disliked the movie, whereas only 34% of the adults disliked the movie. Okay, so it gives me this 66 and 11 were the ones that liked it. So this number, this 0.34 and this 0.45 are actually the complements to the percentage we found here and here. I got that number by subtracting my 0.66 or my 0.55 from 1. 1 minus 0.66 is my 0.34. 1 minus my 0.55 is my 0.45. Okay. All right, good luck with those. Email me if you need me. All right, I think I'm done.